Commentary. I'm Mark Allen, and this is a haul video. Last weekend was 4th of July weekend, of course. Hope you all had a wonderful 4th of July. But got to go to a comic store in Tulsa, since we're there to see family, and got to drop by on a vintage stock BOGO sale, buy one, get one. Now, buy one, get one for comics, used comics, but I also got some good deal on some books at buy two, get one free. The deal is going to blow your mind. So anyway, start off with the comics. These were all, of course, dollar comics, which BOGO made them buy one, get one free. Went first with some nostalgia. Power Pack number 19. The cover is what got me. I remember I was never even a regular reader, even though I have issues 1 through 12. I'm not sure why I haven't been reading them, but just not enough hours in the day. But Power Pack number 19 with Cloak and Dagger, Kitty Pryde, and Wolverine, Beta Ray Bill, all in there. I remembered that cover. And I know I had that comic at one point, read it. And so it was just back in the days when, you know, I was still just, you see a comic that's interesting and looks interesting and you pull it off the shelf even if you're not reading that title. And so anyway, can't wait to get into that, but the cover just really triggered the nostalgia on me. It's not a cover that I see very often. So there was that one, and then this one. This is just a beautiful Michael Golden cover on this Crystal Warrior number 11 with Alpha Flight. Interesting thing about it is the 3 members of Alpha Flight on the cover are not the 3 members that appear in the story. It's actually Shaman, Puck, and Quicksilver, Northstar, and not Snowbird, who appear in there. But that's just that Michael Golden art. I think Michael Golden did all or most. I think maybe I hope I'm not mistaken on that. But anyway, beautiful cover, and I think he did most of the Crystar covers. But just a great cover. I remembered that one as well, and so just nostalgia and just beautiful cover. Now, there's a few. Picked up a few number ones, independent number ones. Now, the first one is an NBM Comics Lit title. It is reprints, but I had this series back in the day, and it was a great series. And I don't know why. Well, I do know why I got rid of them, because they started inching way up on eBay. They've cooled off again, and this is the Quarto Maltese, the Ballad of the Salt Sea, number 1. It was a great old series. In fact, a little piece of trivia for you: an old newspaper strip. Quarto Maltese was actually teased in, or an Easter egg in the very first, the 1989 Batman movie with Michael Keaton, because Kim Basinger had come to Gotham after doing a photo shoot on the war in Quarto Maltese. So if you remember that line and you never knew where that came from, that's where it came from. And so great old comic strip and a great collection there. Comics Lit, NBM Comics Lit collected those into comic book form. You might keep an eye out for those. And then a really nice copy, which for some reason these are hard to find. I guess these were really read well and read a lot when they came out. A Bruce Jones, Brent Anderson story, which anytime those two get together, I like to read their stuff. But this is a Pacific Comics, which sometime in the 80s. But Somerset Holmes number 1, nice copy, which is hard to find those nice copy. Maybe nice condition, maybe because of the dark colors. Easy to see spine ticks. No ticks on this thing. Really nice, just a really cool painted cover. But also we got the cliffhanger by Al Williamson is in there. Okay, so Al Williamson, that's just a no-brainer for 50 cents. That was a good grab. Also, great series. If you've never read it, maybe look it up. But for 50 cents, wasn't going to pass up this number 1, the premiere issue of John Sable Freelance. Also an 80s book. I've read the entire series before. Now, I didn't read the ones he did later. I think in the early 2000s. I even read the Maggie the Cat miniseries back in the day. But anyway, nice copy. Really cool Mike Grell cover there, and Mike Grell art throughout. By the way, another piece of trivia: if you never knew, there was at one point supposed to be a Batman John Sable crossover. DC and First Comics were going to do that crossover. I would have loved to have seen it. Talked about it on my blog back in the day. In fact, you can still find on CBR, I think, somewhere on Comic Book Resources, I think. I can't remember. But anyway, if you look up Batman John Sable crossover or Mike Grell interview, you'll find where I was a link to my then website was included at CBR. Now I forget. I shouldn't have even brought this up. I forget the column. Secrets of the Comics or Unknown Facts of the Comics, something like that. But anyway, so that's still up on the internet somewhere. But anyway, that would have been a cool crossover. Batman John Sable by Mike Grell. And then one other, I know nothing about this book. It was a first issue. I haven't even opened it up, so I don't even know what year, but first issue, Sidekick #1. Okay, and so I thought, well, look at that, give it a try, 50 cents. How much can you lose at 50 cents? So anyway, so there's the independent offerings. A couple of a series that I'm trying to, I've read the entire Superior Spider-Man series. Really loved it. It was a great era in Spider-Man lore. So I picked up issues 3 and 4 of Superior Spider-Man Team Up, because that's a series I'm just going to go ahead and try to acquire just for the reading of it. But I'll probably read these as they go, because the actual series, the Superior Spider-Man, was very good. I don't know if these are as good, but I always found them very interesting. So anyway, trying to put together that series. So again, 50 cents each. This was purely cover driven. Bought this book because of the cover. This is a DC Universe Rebirth book. It is Titans #7 with this fantastic Superman Flash race scene on there. Obviously an homage to and a reminder of past issues where Superman and the Flash raced, but I just picked it up. I'll read it. Plus, it's a Lee Weeks cover, and so it's fantastic. I don't even know who does the art. Yeah, Weeks does the art inside. I like Lee Weeks stuff. In fact, I liked Lee Weeks back in the day when he was doing Daredevil. That was back in the 90s, and it's great stuff. So anyway, good book there. Oh, this was just one of my all-time favorite stories. This is a Prometheus. I love the character Prometheus, and I loved the issue of JLA #17 back in the day when he basically took out the whole team and fighting Batman. Just amazing. And so that's just a great story, fun story. Sorry, the dollar tag there covering up Prometheus' face. But anyway, good book there. Fun to have, fun to read. Now, I do pick up the occasional variant cover. And I was always a fan of the MC2 universe, or M2 universe, or whatever it was, with A-Next and Spider-Girl and all that. And so picked up this variant cover of Secret Wars #6. Love that Friends cover with all those, Ron Friends cover with all those, M2 heroes, M-Next, whatever. But just a great cover. So I had to pick that up. It was worth it for 50 cents. Now, this one, I'm not going to go back and get all the who's who of the DC universe. I just can't. I don't have the interest in that. But this one cover, I had it again back in the day. I must have had this book. I've always been fascinated with the different iterations of Batman, going all the way back. And this was, of course, wonderful George Perez cover that explains the Batman of Earth 1 and Earth 2. But that whole cover, I mean, for 50 cents, that was worth the cover. You got Batgirl and Batwoman back there, and you got, the Bat family is, without a doubt, probably the most interesting, family of DC Comics. But just love that cover. Perez, he was the man. And so anyway, that for 50 cents, and it was in sharp condition too, so very good there. And then lastly, for 50 cents, I have several issues of this book, but it's always worth getting another one, especially when the spine is in such good condition. And it was kind of a square-bound spine, but this is a copy. No great gasper here, okay? Some people will yawn, but a copy of Superman number 500, okay? But it is the first appearance of Connor Kent, the second Superboy, okay? And look at that spine. Love that square-bound spine, looking good there. And so anyway, one of these days, one way or another, the way things are going, people will care about Connor Kent, the character. I always liked him, but nice to have a few first appearances stuff back, for if that happens. Yes, that is speculating, and you know me, I don't speculate except on the cheap stuff, and then it's just fun. It's a game, okay? What have you lost at 50 cents? You gain a nice, fun, pretty book. So at the very least, I'll be able to sell it to somebody for 50 cents one day and break even. So there you go. Now, to the books. This was really kind of cool. Always enjoyed the old Marvel Fireside books. And don't usually look at the boxes of books and trades in vintage stock, but on sales I will. And they had you buy two, get one free. So I'll start, because the best one I got was the more expensive one. But here you go. Here's the other two I got. Funny Man, Siegel & Schuster's Funny Man for $3.99. This is an interesting book. I had heard of Funny Man before. They were hoping for him to be the next big hit after Superman. Came along in the 40s, a good 10 years after Superman debuted. You know, the first Jewish superhero is what they have on there, which I guess the strip made something of that. I don't know. I do know what's interesting about this book, and I'm not sure how much attention I will give to a lot of the history, but they go through a narrative history of Jewish humor, which is interesting. As you'll see, some of the photos have nothing to do with the comics, but have everything to do with Jewish humor, the people. It's just kind of an interesting study, which I don't know that I'm that interested in Jewish humor and the history of Jewish humor, but as a kind of a prequel to you know, the strips, they do put a lot of Funny Man strips. It starts on about, they do have a history there of also their Superman stuff, but it starts in the Funny Man comic book stories about halfway through. You know, they start with the reprints, and so really cool. This will be a neat, rousing reference entry at some point. But anyway, so I thought that was a book I'd never seen before. I thought that was a very cool piece of history, and I will read it. Like I say, I'll probably just kind of skip through or kind of hit and miss the Jewish history part, but that was a neat book. Now, the other book I got, buy two, get one free. That's the next cheapest book. That one was $3.99, okay? But that ended up being my free one. $4.99 for Fantastic Four Visionaries by Walter Simonson, #1. I had never read any of Walt Simonson's Fantastic Four, and I thought, you know what? For $5, give it a shot, because it's Walt Simonson, right? Never been a gigantic fan of his art, but I do like his story concepts and his story ideas and his writing. Now, the first few stories in this book with the art is Rich Buckler, and then one story by Ron Lim, which you can't go wrong there. Rich Buckler, nice, solid comic book artist with a lot of history, and it always does a really good job. Very dramatic and somewhat realistic in his style, and so fun stuff there. But did get to the you know, the Walt Simonson art, which is, like I say, is okay, but you know, again, the stories were fantastic. But there's just a sample of it there. What I liked about the Visionary series was they recolored, and they did a good job on the recoloring. Okay, so that was $4.99, $3.99, and this is a hefty book. This is a well done, you know, this was a costly book to produce. Originally, I can't find a price. Oh well, it's not that big of a deal. But heavy book. But here's the best one for $6.99. So $6.99 plus $4.99, basically got these three books for $12. Here you go. The Superhero Women by Stan Lee. In nice shape, still glossy, just a little bit of fading or browning, I should say, on the outer edges, okay, of the cover in the book, but not in the pages themselves. And so, great book. I love the Fireside books. This one definitely goes up on my bookshelf to live there. Okay, but anyway, so that was my 4th of July weekend haul, and fun haul. And so I'm still reading some of those. I've already read the Fantastic Four by Walt Simonson, which is good. I plan on actually getting Volume 2, and that's with not even really with Walt Simonson not being one of my favorite artists. But the stories are good and character driven, so I like that very much. Anyway, that's it. That's my haul. And so until next time, thanks for watching 4 Color Commentary, and we'll see you next video.